Good morning, everyone. So I figure since we're all stuck at home, we can learn how to make a meal. And today we're going to be making a sandwich. And sandwiches are very good for lunches, like most of us eat them when we're out and about. But if you don't have all of the ingredients that I have today, that's okay. You can use whatever you have in your kitchen. So this can be really good practice of putting ingredients together or even chopping if you feel comfortable using a knife. But beforehand, the first thing that we always want to do before cooking a meal is wash our hands. So first I'm going to be adding some soap. And then I'm going to rub it all over my hands and rinse just a little bit of water. And make sure you get the front of your hands, the back, in between your fingers, your thumbs, under your fingernails. So you're supposed to wash your hands for at least 20 seconds. So if it helps, you can sing the happy birthday song 2 times or your ABCs. So now that you're done washing your hands, you can start taking out your ingredients. So what I have for my sandwich is mustard, mayonnaise, lettuce, cheese, cucumber, tomato, bread, bell peppers, and you could use whatever meat of your choice. I have turkey breast, but if you want to make this vegetarian, you don't have to use any meat. You can use tofu or whatever option you have available, but this is what we're going to be using so far. So first we're going to start off with the bread. Personally, me, I like my bread toasted, so I'm going to toast it for about 3 minutes. And if you don't like your bread toasted, then you can just skip this step, but this is what we're going to do first. Now that your bread is toasted, make sure you have a cutting board since we're going to be cutting vegetables in a bit. But before we start, we want to add our mustard and mayonnaise. So you can use a knife or a spoon, and I'm just going to grab a little bit, actually a little bit more. You're gonna smear that everywhere. You want to make sure you get it all around. I'm going to do this on both sides. See how I didn't add too much, like the mayonnaise isn't coming out of the sandwich. So this is a pretty good amount. Now I'm going to add my mustard. So when you have your mustard, you kind of just want to make sure that you shake it beforehand because the water sticks at the top and that's going to come out. So then I'm going to squirt a little bit. And same thing, you're just going to smear it around just because we want to add, some flavor to our sandwich. Okay, so next I'm going to add the turkey, which is going to serve as our protein. I'm going to add like 5 pieces onto one side. So depending how thick you want your sandwich, if you want more turkey, you can add more turkey, but this is just how much I'm adding. I'm setting my sandwich to the side, and before we start cutting any fruit or vegetable, we always have to make sure to wash them so we don't get sick since they come from farms and they're in the grocery all day. They're pretty dirty, so we don't want to get sick. So you're just gonna rinse them into the sink with all your vegetables, and you're just gonna rinse them out with water. So now that everything is washed, you're gonna go ahead and start cutting. And if you don't feel comfortable using a knife, feel free to have someone help you. But for this cucumber, I'm gonna show you kind of like an effective way to chop. So since I'm gonna hold, because I'm holding the camera. So typically you always wanna have your hands behind a vegetable or fruit. So if you had them like this, you can cut your fingers. So even if you're holding, let's say, a tomato and you wanna make sure that it doesn't move around, always have your hands in the back. But for this cucumber, it stays pretty much in place. So you're gonna grab your knife and you kind of wanna like point at the board and just go down. Actually, yeah, down. And since we are making a sandwich, this is going to be a little bit too thick. So we're gonna try to do like thin pieces. Like that. And you can make as much as you want. So like I said, if I wasn't holding the camera, I would be holding this sturdy in place with my hands in the back. And you would be chopping down like this. So I'm gonna cut a few pieces and then we're gonna start with the tomato. Okay, so like I was saying earlier, you are going to have your hands behind the vegetable and you're gonna point downwards. And you're gonna make some slices. So see, like if I had my hands here, I could hurt myself, right? So you wanna hold steady and do thin slices like this. And you wanna continue doing that until you make sure you have enough tomato slices. So last is our bell peppers. So when cutting bell peppers, you want to make sure to cut like this end. And I do recommend getting the bigger ones, but they were just sold out from them. If they're really big, they typically look the same, but see how they have the seeds? And you want to kind of do the same kind of slices. See how they're very tiny? I'm going to do a few. See, we gotta be very careful. So we wanna press down hardly because these vegetables can be also very slippery. So we wanna press down and push. I'm gonna try my red one. So we're gonna cut off the top. I'm gonna do slices. So remember to have your hands in the back. So I think I'm just gonna do one more and then we're gonna put all of our ingredients together. Okay, so see how I have a lot of vegetables or fruits left over? We can definitely use this for some other day, maybe like 2 or 3 more times. So this is how we're gonna end up saving money because we can probably make like 2 or 3 more sandwiches out of this. All right, so I have my chopped tomato, cucumber, and bell pepper. And we have what we've done before, added our mayonnaise, mustard, and turkey. And now we're just gonna put everything together. So I'm gonna add the cheese. I'm gonna add my slices of cucumber. Cucumber is also infused with lots of water since we need to be staying hydrated. Tomato. And our bell pepper. lastly, we're gonna add our lettuce. It's gonna press it down so it kind of just holds that in place. Cover our bread. Press it down. And there we go. We have our sandwich. And just a reminder to always follow up your meal with a drink. I have my water. Like I said, we gotta stay hydrated. And this is going to be my lunch for the day. So that is how you make a sandwich.